Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. In the quiet countryside of Princeton, Kentucky, where mornings dawn with a calm that only a small town can bring, Brittany Combs poured a fresh cup of coffee while sunlight danced softly on the kitchen curtains. For most of her life, Brittany had moved through seasons of challenge and resilience, struggles she never expected to livestream, yet had come to share with millions. She knew the reality of her journey down to every quiet morning like this one, a life that straddled personal transformation, family drama, internet speculation, and sometimes the heartbreak of strangers' harsh words. Yet today was different. Today, her phone buzzed with notifications, not the usual barrage of random commentary, but supportive messages. Messages of kindness, of encouragement, of genuine affection from people who saw beyond the screen and embraced Brittany not just as a TV character, but as a person. For weeks, the online world had churned with stories, some uplifting, some unhinged, whispers that Brittany was missing, rumors that she had passed away, and speculation about her marriage with husband Chris Combs filled feeds and comment threads. Clicking into these threads felt like staring down a wild storm, confusion, assumption, mockery, and cruelty all tangled together. At times, it was hard to separate fact from fiction, but Brittany was alive and fighting for her health and dignity in real time. When rumors spiral out of control, it had started innocently enough. An episode of 1000 LB Sisters aired, and Brittany's regular presence on social media suddenly quieted. Fans waiting for updates noticed her absence and began to speculate. In today's clickbait culture, conjecture quickly mutated into news that Brittany had disappeared, that something terrible had happened. The worst rumor, that she had died, spread like wildfire. Some reposted without thinking, others talked about it as though they knew it was true. What followed was the kind of frenzy familiar to anyone who's been online long enough: screenshots, gossip threads, and people debating something they had no facts about. Brittany watched it unfold from her porch, feeling the sting of seeing strangers discuss her life in such a detached, careless way. But in the same flood of speculation, something unexpected surfaced. Messages began appearing from fans, messages that spoke not of mockery, but of faith, hope, and support. Some admitted they'd jumped to conclusions too. Many shared their own health journeys, their struggles with self-image, and their admiration for Brittany's strength. It wasn't just praise for her appearances on television, it was empathy for her human experience. It was these messages that made Brittany realize something. For every cruel comment, there were dozens, maybe hundreds of people rooting for her. Silent supporters whose voices were quieter than the trolls, but just as real. Support from unexpected places. The turning point came when social media posts began flooding in with hashtags like "We Believe in Brittany" and "Keep Going Brittany." People from all over, some who'd never even watched the show, shared stories about how Brittany's journey inspired them to focus on their own health and well-being. One post read, "I see more than what the camera shows. I see someone living her life bravely." Another said, "Your story reminds me to love myself today." These weren't just throwaway compliments. They came from people who admitted they'd been struggling too, with weight, with chronic illness, or with feeling unseen and misunderstood by the world. Brittany scrolled through these threads, and for the first time in a long while, felt seen in return. Some saw her bravery in qualifying for weight loss surgery after lowering her A1C and tackling type 2 diabetes. They celebrated each step she took toward health, whether it was giving up soda or enduring emotional discomfort as part of the journey. Fans noticed her slimmer appearance over time, cheering her on and celebrating milestones with genuine pride. The narrative shifted online, from rumor to resilience. People began defending her against hurtful speculation, correcting wild claims with reminders that Brittany was very much alive and very much working on herself. One fan comment captured it beautifully. "We don't know Brittany personally, but we know what a fight feels like, and you make us believe change is possible." A quiet strength in real life. Back in her kitchen, Brittany set her mug down and smiled. She wasn't someone who sought the spotlight, not really. Her life away from the camera was grounded in simple routines, caring for her home, sharing gentle laughter with Chris, and focusing on what truly mattered. Rumors didn't define her daily choices did. Chris walked in, his presence calm and reassuring. Their love story wasn't cinematic, no dramatic montage or sweeping soundtrack, but it was real. They met years ago while working at a McDonald's, fell in love through everyday moments, and built a life grounded in support and faith. Brittany often referred to him as her anchor, someone who stood by her through public scrutiny and personal hurdles alike. Together, they had faced the whispers, the judgments, and the unpredictability of living life partly in front of cameras. But more than that, they had cultivated a shared resilience. Brittany's quiet confidence, sometimes misunderstood as aloofness by critics, was grounded in a deep sense of self that came from faith, from love, and the long road she'd traveled. The other side of online life. Of course, not all online commentary was supportive, and Brittany didn't pretend otherwise. Trolls made harsh remarks, sometimes about her appearance or behavior on the show. Some comments were insulting, careless, and hurtful. Viewers dissected moments from episodes and made judgments about her character. Some said she was judgmental, others labeled her as quiet or cold. But reality TV rarely shows the full picture, just a slice crafted for drama and reaction. On Reddit and other forums, conversations ranged widely, from supportive to critical. Some fans empathized with her introversion and felt the show didn't fairly represent her kindness. Others disagreed, claiming her reactions were snobbish or that she didn't engage warmly enough with family members. But even within this friction, something important began to emerge. Behind every criticism was a conversation, and behind many defenses was a human being speaking up for another. Empathy started showing up in unexpected places. People who initially joined threads to mock ended up admitting they may have misunderstood her. Others shared how watching Brittany's health journey inspired them to make changes in their own lives, whether it was starting a fitness plan, checking in with a doctor, or simply being kinder to themselves and others. Support that really counts. Brittany didn't need millions of fans, she just needed those voices that chose compassion over cruelty. For every mean comment, there was someone saying, "We've got your back." For every rumor spread without thought, there was someone correcting it with clarity and respect. And that's where her true community emerged, not the loudest shouters online, but the ones who chose to uplift. They recognized that behind the television segments and social posts was a real woman with a real life, feelings, and goals. They celebrated her courage to pursue surgery for health reasons, acknowledging it wasn't about aesthetics, but about living a life where she could thrive. One day, Brittany posted something small, just a photo of her backyard sunrise and a simple caption. "Some days are quiet, some days are loud, but every day we grow." It wasn't a statement to silence critics, it was a message of peace. Within minutes, comments flowed, hearts, prayers, and stories of shared hope. Some fans said it felt like a lesson in resilience. Others wrote that their words helped them through a tough morning. What began as support for Brittany had turned into inspiration for others, a cycle of kindness that echoed far beyond her original journey. The path forward. Brittany knows there will always be noise. The internet doesn't quiet easily. But she's learning to listen to the right voices, the ones that say, "You are worthy," the ones that say, "Keep going," the ones that say, "We celebrate your growth." In the end, the story of Brittany Combs isn't just reality TV drama, it's a reminder of the human spirit's capacity for strength, transformation, and compassion, even when faced with the harshest corners of public opinion. From rumors that spread like wildfire to support that grew like a garden, her story reveals something beautiful about the world we live in. Where cruelty exists, kindness can flourish, sometimes in the very same place. And as Brittany steps into the next chapter with steady resolve, supportive fans, and a life she's crafting with intention, her story becomes less about caricature and more about courage, connection, and the quiet power of showing up every day.